Hey, welcome back to Fitness Forever TV.
She's Melissa.
And he's Brad.
And today we're going to talk about an interesting topic that's been coming up in the diet world, intermittent fasting.
I'm hungry.
What?
But first, the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to Fitness Forever TV,
Your source for entertainment television,
where we explore all things health and wellness to help you achieve vitality and longevity.
Episode 9.
Nine so fine with our new Fitness Forever backdrop. I'm getting big time.
Exactly. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
First thing we got to do, though.
We got to hit the quan.
Hit the quan. Remember, these are those quick, actionable nuggets, things that you can take away and use right now. Hit the quan. Hit the quan. Hit the quan. What do you got for us, Melissa?
Well, my quick actionable nugget for today is to accept failure. You know, we're now late into January. You may have committed yourself to a fitness routine or maybe a new dietary approach and have stumbled along the way and maybe fallen off that plan. But don't fret. Accept your failure and move on. Don't let it be the end of your motivation.
I like it. Accept failure, go on. All right.
All right. And how about you?
I'm kind of in the same realm. I'm going to talk about experimentation. So in the diet realm, we've seen a bunch of these trends, keto, paleo, but one size doesn't fit all. You got to find out what works for you. So don't be afraid to experiment. Try something. Give yourself a month or two or whatever you think is the best. Write down how you felt, move on to the next one, and then figure out which one worked best for you.
Awesome. Thanks, B.
Oh, thank you, Em.
All right.
And we had a special guest.
Yes, we did. So let's get into our intermittent fasting.
With
Bethany Carter, very special, bright young rising star.
Yes, she is. And we had an interview with her, and we'll go to that right now.
Yeah, let's learn all about intermittent fasting. Hey, guys. We're here having a discussion today with Bethany Carter all about intermittent fasting. Bethany is not only a client of Optimal Health and Performance Training, I'm proud to say she is an established Spartan athlete, and she also is a student at the University of South Florida, where she is a master's candidate in biomedical science, and she has a concentrated interest in preventative and metabolic health. She's also interning at the Florida Medical Clinic with their well-being wellness program. So thank you, Bethany, and welcome to Fitness Forever TV.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, so you're here today to talk about intermittent fasting, a little bit about that. And before we get into like the details of exactly what that means, what intermittent fasting does, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your experience with intermittent fasting, maybe why, how, when, and your current state?
Sure. So I've actually been a client of Melissa since I was 16. That was about, 8 years ago?
Wow.
Yeah, so being an athlete myself was kind of my gateway into science. I was fascinated by a lot of things I was experiencing physically and was curious about the science behind some of those human body processes. And one of the things that I did experience, one of the stumbling blocks of being an athlete is, getting the proper nutrition. And a lot of what they teach now is that, athletes, you're training, but that also means, you're constantly eating. And so, long story short, once I started experimenting with the ketogenic diet, I learned about the potential benefits of intermittent fasting. And so that led me to kind of explore it a little bit, and I was a little confused by it because the message of intermittent fasting and all these benefits, I was like, benefits to not eating?
Right.
I like food too much for this, but yeah, once I really started practicing it and doing it well, I can't lie, the benefits have been tremendous.
Wow, that's a very powerful statement. So before we get into the benefits of intermittent fasting and the benefits that you personally have experienced or are experiencing, can you give our audience a little bit of an overview as to what is intermittent fasting?
So intermittent fasting is basically you have a set time period where you are consciously choosing to not eat. That's basically it. Some people practice what's called alternate day eating, where they'll eat 3 meals a day for one day and then choose not to eat the following day, rinse, repeat. Some people practice a kind of intermittent fasting where they do a restricted time feeding period. For example, I usually only eat 2 meals a day. That means I just skip breakfast because I'm not hungry in the morning when I wake up. Most people I've talked to aren't either. Imagine that, just listening to your body and not eating when you're not hungry. But, some people are really ambitious and go for 3-5 days without eating. And you can also consume limited portions of certain specific liquids during a fast and still get the benefits, so you don't have to go super hardcore with it.
Yeah. I mean, intermittent fasting is something that I have inadvertently been practicing for the last 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of my job as a trainer is that I'm pretty much working straight through the day. Yesterday I had an 11-hour training day. So for example, the night before that 11-hour training day, I had an excessively large healthy meal at nighttime. I mean, it was an array of vegetables, hummus, chickpeas, falafel. It was a very, very heavy meal, a lot of pita. But then yesterday when I had my 11-hour training day, straight through the day, didn't even think about it, drinking water all day, and then as soon as I was done, I'm preparing for race, I went out and ran a 5K, which to most people they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, well, I know what my intake was the day before. I didn't feel hungry all day. I felt satisfied and I felt great. But anyways, now that it's become such a spotlight, intermittent fasting, I've identified that and I'm like, that's been my lifestyle forever. I've always done that, just not planned, but I listen to my body. If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. I think this whole notion of you have to have 3 square meals a day with snacks in between to keep metabolism burning is such a fallacy. So can you tell us a little bit now that we know what intermittent fasting is, can you tell us a little bit, generally speaking, how that works, the science behind it, but a very general overview of that?
Sure. So you're absolutely right. We do not need 3 square meals a day. Speaking strictly in terms of human evolution, it does not make sense for us to really truly need 3 meals a day every single day. We experience periods of feast and we also experience periods of famine. The body had to adapt itself to go periods of time without eating. That's what your fat cells are for. That's what your glycogen stores are for. When you ran that marathon, you had all that glycogen stored up in your liver and you burned it all out. You were probably still burning it even
Post.
Yeah,
most definitely. So how would someone start with intermittent fasting? I mean, I know a lot of people out there saying, oh my gosh, it sounds so extreme. Do I have to go to that extreme, level of not eating for 3 days for me to reap the benefits of intermittent fasting?
So it depends on where you are in your health and where you are in your nutrition and how mindful you are of what you put in your mouth first and foremost. So if you want to first get a grip on maintaining a healthy diet first, because it's a similar concept to you can't out-exercise a bad diet, you cannot out-fast a bad diet. So if you're constantly, snarfing the potato chips between meals like I was in undergrad, you're setting yourself up for failure if you're just gonna start fasting cold turkey. One way to kind of ease yourself into it is, if you're somebody who eats breakfast in the morning, try simply delaying that first meal an hour. Or if you're feeling if you're feeling a little more ambitious, and after that, just see how long you can comfortably delay your first meal of the day.
Another tip that I've heard in regards to starting intermittent fasting is maybe attempt to do it on a day where you know you have a really busy schedule. You know, like just like yesterday, inadvertently, I didn't think about eating. I was busy all day. So I think that helps you when you set yourself up for success, knowing that, okay, I'm going to attempt this today. Maybe do it on a day that you know you have a really busy schedule.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Bethany. So now that we've talked all about intermittent fasting, what are some of the benefits associated with that?
Some of the benefits that have been associated and are continuing to be more firmly established in science is, improved mental clarity, weight loss, obviously, less aging, which is why you look so wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Decreased aging, decreased inflammation,
Yeah. Those are all things that I've definitely experienced through intermittent fasting. So I think it's a really great way. And the great thing about intermittent fasting is that it doesn't cost a thing.
Nope. Nobody makes money when you fast.
Right. And I think that's a real scare to the weight loss industry in terms of like supplements and fad diets and things like that. It doesn't cost a dime.
Not just the weight loss industry, the food industry too.
Yeah, this is so true.
They do not profit when you fast.
No.
The only one that profits when you fast is you.
Well, that was really helpful today, Bethany. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Talking to our audience about the benefits of intermittent fasting, what it is, and how to get started. For more information, stay tuned or log in for another segment with Bethany where she's going to break down the science of intermittent fasting.
Yes, science.
Science.
That was a really good interview.
Yeah, Bethany's great. She's such a credible resource. She herself does intermittent fasting and has achieved results. So now that you guys have that information and you want to try intermittent fasting, let us know how it goes for you. Leave us some comments and feedback and we can explore the issue even further.
Yeah, that would be great. And if you've tried it before, let us know how it worked for you. And you could take that last Quan and try it for a couple of months and see if it works.
But it's really important to stay motivated throughout that.
Yes, it is. And you know what? Now that we're, 3 weeks into January, 4 weeks into January, that's where people start to fall off, right?
They start to lose that motivation. So how do you stay self-motivated? Well, one of the tips that we like to offer in terms of self-motivation is something that we both do, which is using our paper journal or passion planner. It's a great area for you to reflect on. So, for example, now that you've been training and working out or adhering to a new healthy lifestyle habit, why don't you take note and reflect, whether it's at the end of the day, at the end of the week, how those activities or actions made you feel. So if there's ever a time where you feel like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, just take a look back and reflect on those notes and see, wow, I really felt reinvigorated. I felt de-stressed. Maybe, I lost 10 pounds or whatever that is. Go ahead and look at how you felt by looking at your journal notes that you took note of after reflection.
Yeah, and now even on the electronic side, my clients actually use a program called Training Peaks, and it's something that we also use a communication gap, but I ask them to put notes in, and then I tell them, hey, when it's time to look at that same workout, go back and take a look at how you felt, and that will help motivate you to even get better. So we can do it on the electronic side as well.
Very good, and of course we'll leave links to both of those below in our video. So make sure to check those out. If you're looking for a way to stay self-motivated, it's really easy to do.
Speaking of motivation, and that's motivate.fitnessforevertv.com, and that's our contest that we still have going on for another 3 weeks, where you can give us your favorite motivational quote, saying, meme, and we can put that on a t-shirt for you or for everybody so you can share it with the world.
Yes. So please check it out and submit what your favorite quote, motivational quote is, and we can share it with others if we select yours.
And if we select yours that going on a t-shirt, you'll get a Fitness Forever TV mug.
Ooh.
Limited edition. And we're giving 50 of those away.
It's raining Fitness Forever mugs.
Love
but
it.
Until then, we'll see you guys at our next episode.
Excellent. Stay motivated.
Yeah.